Our world is really changing. It looks like it's never looked before. And more, the need and strength of our connection to ourselves and to each other matters. And after ourselves, perhaps that connection is the most influential when it comes to our children. And so the words meet at the level of the heart, meeting ourselves in our hearts and meeting our children in theirs, is perhaps the most powerful tool that we have. Is not just parents, teachers, adults, but citizens of the world. When we think about our children, and even how many adults we meet walking around who are subconsciously looking for their needs at the age of 50, 70, 90, who may never get their needs met, who may never meet their needs. We must know that for our children, that the way for them to truly be of service in this world is for their needs to be met. Not just their physical needs, but their emotional. And in order for a human being to truly be of service, they must be empty of themselves. And the way to be empty of themselves is for their needs to be met and satisfied on an emotional level. And so when a human being is able to have their needs met, or in the case of the few adults that manage to wake up and do this for themselves, who truly know how brutal and difficult this work is, and then go on to helping parents do it correctly from the beginning with their child to avoid this work. The few beings that know what it's like doing this as an adult will always tell you to do it right at the very beginning with your child. And so meeting yourself in your heart and being present with yourself in every moment, being present with the experience that you are having internally in every moment, will allow you to then meet your child in their heart, because they are that already. And they have come to remind you, to remind me of what it truly is to be in our heart, what that truly looks like. And many of the adults that you meet walking around today are not living in their heart. Maybe once in a while, maybe every now and then, maybe on a special occasion, or a catastrophic event. But our children always live in their hearts. And being here is our true nature. And our children really remind us of that every moment. And so when we struggle with our children, chances are that we're not meeting them here. We're not here in our own heart. We're not present to our own experience. Instead, we're here. And this is what causes all of life's suffering, right? Causes our clashing, causes our need for control, our resistance to how they are, the reality of who they are, their behavior, their character, whatever they're doing. It's because when we move from here to here, our entire experience changes. Our entire inner experience changes. And we no longer are fearing. We're no longer coming from a place of fear of how they're behaving. And fear could be there, but it's not the driver of our decision making. And this is so key when it comes to parenting, because our children really need, and this is true for any relationship, but maybe the most so for our children, they really need us to be stable. They really need us to be secure in ourselves, to not be afraid of them, because as little growing, developing individuals, at the very least younger than us, they look up to us as a source of stability, as a source of security, as a way to know about themselves and how to feel about themselves and how they are. And so when we are present, right, when we meet ourselves at the level of our own heart, in our own heart, and sometimes that requires just every moment to make the shift from here to here, here to here, here to here, here to here, and just keep doing that every moment that I'm alive. I will do that for my child. And what's so fascinating is very, very quickly you experience the benefits of this for yourself. It's no longer even about how my child will benefit. It's just about me being here every moment. And I love being here. I love being present. I love being here in my body. I love the sound of sounds. I love the way the trees look. I love how blue the sky is. It's an entire different mode of operating. One that, at the core of every human being, perhaps knows intuitively, right? Even though we don't know, maybe we haven't experienced it in our life even. There's a wisdom, there's an intelligence in all of our beings that knows what I'm speaking. Presence is the gift to our children. It's the gift to ourselves first and foremost. And it's our greatest gift to the world, to those that we meet, to those that we encounter. Just being present, just being here. Because we're no longer operating from fear. And our children will be the leaders of the world, the change makers of the world. They are tomorrow's destiny. They are this world's destiny. And so if we don't meet them in their heart, and if they learn just to operate from fear, because they never learned how to be not afraid of who they are, how they are, secure in their feelings, secure in however they're feeling. If they never learn to trust themselves in every feeling, then how will they go on to, of course, change their own life, right? But how will they go on to change the world? How will they go on to have an impact in any way on anybody, including themselves? And so this era that we're approaching is really, really calling us to go within ourselves. And the last few years for everybody, cumulatively, has been an effort to really go within and pay attention to ourselves. And it's this attention, this being with ourselves, that we have been avoiding all our life. We have been running from our thoughts and feelings all our life. And then blaming others mistakenly for upsetting us, ruining our mood, triggering us, right? I can't be around you. I don't like you. You're the problem. Because we haven't gotten to the root of those feelings in ourselves. We haven't visited the fear which is at the root of those feelings in ourselves. And so this return to presence for every single one of us is the most powerful thing that we all need on a collective level, and also on an individual level, for our own lives, for our kids, for our families, for our parents who may still be asleep, who need that from us. We are the change makers, you and me. If you have been awakened with now the eyes to see, it is now your duty and your responsibility to be steadfast in this work and to approach every moment in presence, in this connection to yourself, just being here. And the more and more you do that, the more and more you will know what it is to operate from your heart. You will be able to feel that out. And that experience will become familiar to you, so that you will know more and more when you are in your heart, and maybe when there's a subtle shift that again needs to occur, to go back in. And all of life is just this. It's just this. It's just in the moment shifting back, right? That subtle shift to then being back in my heart and deepening in this every second that we're alive. Because the fate of our world, the fate of our children, the fate of tomorrow really lies in our ability to be present with ourselves. And so far in our life, the way that it's been is that we've been conditioned to live in our brain, to live as a subconscious mind, which is the fear-based programming, right? Or just the fearful thoughts that have been playing here all the time. The past and all the stories and the narratives. We're living in the past. We're living in fear. And when you think about the ways in which you experience pain, suffering, and then fear, right? That then drive your decision making. You know, at the very least, you do know this one thing, that you would never want your child to even experience or make a decision, right? In one moment out of fear. That our goal for our children really is to make them so strong that even if they do experience fear, that doesn't affect the decision that they make. And if they do still experience fear, that they still manage to stay in their heart, to stay in their body, and not want to run, not want to resort to some sort of coping. And that skill of staying in the body is only something that we can help them with starting when they are young. Helping them feel safe in whatever emotion, whatever feeling they're experiencing. Because if we don't help them feel safe, they will end up resorting to some sort of coping, right? Externally through some way, or internally through the mind, through the addiction to thought, through the addiction to some kind of compulsive behavior. It will happen. Because at the core root of every single human is just a need to feel safe. And this is the greatest need that on an emotional level we are completely missing today. And it's been missed for long enough. And it needs to end today. It ends today. And so if you're watching this video, your number one goal with any child in your life is first to be present in your own heart, to be safe, to help yourself feel safe in whatever experience you're having. Whatever thought, belief, sensation, whatever you're experiencing on the outside event, external event that, you're going through, or internally, in any emotion that you're feeling, in that event that you're processing. Any experience that you're having, right? Whether you have a good moment or a bad moment or a horrific moment, to help yourself as best as possible feel safe in every moment. This is your work. And of course, when you feel safe in your body, in your own experience, then your child naturally, right, will develop that safety in themselves as well. Right? They're going to experience that safety in you. That's going to be transmitted to them. They're going to know that it's okay to feel however they're feeling and to experience whatever they're experiencing. And so it's this work, really, that is truly life-changing for ourselves, for our children, and for the world. And I wish you the best. And may we all be on this journey of being present and meeting ourselves in our own heart. That is the first step. That is the first step before we can meet our children, before we can meet our partners, before we can meet anybody else. Just meeting ourselves in our own heart. I love you so much. God bless you.